Alright, got something to finish up, and got to get it done today because I got too much other stuff going on, but I've been talking about it, promising it, so it's got to get finished. Last night, started on the road to the final steps of finishing up the 3D printed Baby Yoda. I made a very half-assed quickie template out of some fabric I had laying around. Got things worked out, so we're going to finish up the outfit. We're going to put some hair on him, and I think we're going to call him done. So in order to get that done and get this thing finished up, I'm going to take this apart. We're going to get on the table. We're going to get a sewing machine in a little bit too. It's going to get crazy. Yoda's getting done today. Alright, if I've learned anything in doing this kind of stuff over the time that I've done it for, and it's been a little while now, is that if I sit down and try and think too much about a project like this and how to make the tunic for this and drive myself insane about it, it'll never get done, and it just, the results won't be any better than if I just sit down and do it. So that's kind of what I did last night. I just sat down, grabbed some fabric, made some marks on it, cut it up, and got to a place that is pretty close. Now the tunic that I made last night, or the pattern that I made for it rather, was a little bit too small. It needs to be bigger in some places. The collar needs to be bigger, and overall needs to be just a little bit wider. So we're going to take what I put together last night, transfer that to something a little bit bigger, and then hopefully end up with something that we can sew up and put together and put on him and get him dressed and ready to go. So the pattern's really pretty simple. A couple sleeves, a three-piece part to the coat where we just have a back panel, two front panels, and it's split in the middle so that we can open and close up the coat. Again, we need to make this a little bit bigger here, the head opening, so that the collar's wider, and then we need to make the tunic a little bit wider overall too, because it's a little bit more boxy than I had it. It was a little too, I guess, fitted. Okay, so we wanted to make all the parts of the tunic a little bit bigger because the tunic wasn't quite large enough, so I did a rough cut on the fabric, and we're just going to fix that up a little bit. Alright, but you get the idea. I'm just going to cut out the rest of them and alright, so we sort of have something. We've got the three panels sewn together. Let's just kind of see how they fit. Alright, that works. Let's get sleeves on there real quick and put a collar on there, and then we'll kind of finish up the front and kind of hem up the bottom a little bit there. You don't have to be really good at sewing. Sewing is kind of more of a mental exercise than anything else. Once you wrap your head around how to, attach parts together and make parts and put them together so that when you're following a pattern or you're just doing something, that it is going to work. It's more of a brain thing and wrapping your mind around how it works than anything else. It's not hard to sew. The machine does everything. A few minutes later, I swear that's all it's been, and we've got a tunic with some sleeves, and let's throw it on him real quick and see. First of all, make sure it fits right on there. It works, looks fine. You can still move all the joints and have it posable. So we'll put a seam down the front here just to kind of clean that front edge up a little bit. And let's get the collar made. We're going to cut this neck hole out a little bit more to give us a little bit more. We really don't need all that fabric sticking up because we're going to have that fur collar coming up here and kind of basically running along the edge of the sleeves at the shoulders. the widest points around. Alright, through the magic of skipping things, we have jumped past to what is going to be called a finished product when it comes to the coat and how it looks. I was going to screw around and put some more fur trim around on the sleeves. I may do that later, but for now, quite honestly, I don't think it needs it. I think we've got the look, we've got the fur collar on there. Nice, big, oversized, very wide, out past the shoulders a little bit there. That looks right. We cleaned up and hemmed the edges on here and at the bottom. And if we look around to, one thing we got to do is we can't leave this looking like you just went into Baby Yoda Gap and picked up a new coat for the season. We got to kind of beat the crap out of the coat a little bit. So how are we going to do that? Well, we got all kinds of tools. They got a tiny little pot of espresso, so, and an airbrush. So let's dirty up the coat. All right, so we're gonna weather things up a little bit on the coat. The first thing we'll do, though, because I really don't want to get crap all over the head here, let's go ahead and take the head off. Don't worry, you didn't get hurt. Dirty this up a little bit. Put a little coffee in here. Never knew that Baby Yoda could smell so good, right? Go ahead and just kind of hit the bottom edges there a little bit more, the sleeves. And hopefully that shows up on there, that does make a pretty good difference, pretty quick on there. I'll definitely use some up on the fur here to tone that down a little bit. And regular coffee will work too, it's just not quite as dark. Espresso is a lot darker. Does a better job for this. Tea will work too, you know, make real strong tea. You can mix paint up and do it that way too. There's a lot of different ways to do that same thing. Coat's looking like it's looking a little beat up. Just grab whatever you have. You can do whatever you want to. Grab sandpaper you got around, nice heavy grit sandpaper, and just mess up the fabric a little bit. Scuff it up, fill it up, heat it up a little bit because that's all we were doing with the rotary grinder. Got a little black in the airbrush. There we go. Now we got something that looks a little worn, a little used, a little bit older, and just kind of helps sell things a little bit better. All right, a couple of other little details to do. We're just going to add some color to the nails on the fingers here. All right, Baby Yoda's got to get his nails did here, so we're going to give him some color on those. So is this the part at the nail salon where they ask you if you have a boyfriend? You have a boyfriend? All right, trip to the salon. I do want to put just a little bit of white underneath, white, real light pink, rosy kind of wash right around the eyes real quick. So one last thing to talk about. Let's talk a little bit about the hair. There's a lot of different ways to do that. You could flock the hair on. You could go through and glue things on individually. If you did silicone ears on here, you could obviously hair punch, which would give you a better result than any of the other two. But since we have a resin printed head and FDM printed head parts here, we're just going to go ahead and glue. And what I did, I kept it really simple. I didn't want to go with the flocking thing. I just wanted some hairs because it just has fuzz. It doesn't have to be like a full head of hair. Nothing crazy. So I just had a sacrificial Yoda that had too much hair anyway, so he needed to thin out a little bit. And I just went through and trimmed out some of that little white hair there. And to attach that, because I want the glue to stick, the hair to stick right away, I just use a little bit of CA, put that on the surface. And then you're just going to go in and grab a couple hairs at a time. And don't worry, you're going to have the hairs all over your fingers or whatever else you happen to be doing this with. Just grab a couple hairs, get them in the glue, and then just get them wherever you want them to go. And you're just going to keep doing that. Grab a couple of little hairs at a time. Drop them in the glue, put them where you want them to go, and then when you get through that and you're done, it's just you got to go back, and you're going to have to thin some of this out too, because hair grows, a follicle at a time. There's one here, there's one there, they're all over the place. Our animal heads, human hair isn't like a doll head with plugs of hair all over the place on there. There's individual ones. So you got to go through and separate them out and thin out what you put on there a little bit, because sometimes if you're doing it fast like I did on this side here, you're going to have a little bit too much hair. But as far as I'm concerned, that's good enough with the fuzz. Just a little bit sells it, gives a little bit of baby fuzz on there, and I think gives us the look that we want to. It's nice every now and then to do something that's just strictly, because. So the Baby Yoda build has been a ton of fun for me. I've really enjoyed making it, putting these videos together, putting them out there, and seeing the reaction that have gotten from people. And the other thing that I really love about it too is the fact that Sean Fields of Project 842 provided these files free of charge, and they are still available for download. Again, the only thing that he asks is that couple things. One, you do not sell these files. Two, you do not sell prints of things that you have made with this. And that finally, and most importantly, that in lieu of paying him anything, because the files are free, that you make a donation to kids in need this time of year through anything that might seem right to you. So if you want to make a donation to Toys for Tots, or you want to go buy something off of a Christmas wish list off of one of those trees at either your church or a local shopping mall or whatever it might be, or make a donation to Make-A-Wish or whatever it could be, go ahead and do that. And if you do that, feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag ToyDrive842. Thank you to everybody who watched this video, and if you made it this far, thank you. And if you've watched the other ones and haven't seen them yet, I'll have some links at the end so you can see part 1 and part 2 of how we got from nothing to everything we did today. Thank you so much for participating in the discussion during the course of this build. To all of you who have watched the videos, who have commented on them, who have liked them, gave them a thumbs up, shared them other places, and just participated. I appreciate it very, very much. It's always fun to see something that really captures people's imaginations and consciousness, and Yoda really has, and it's been a fun to be a little part of the whole thing around this little guy. So thanks to all of you who have subscribed. If you have not done so yet, please do so. Take a look down below in the description. There will be links to some of the parts to help you make your very own Baby Yoda, and again, where to get those files as well, and some other things too. So before I forget, 2 giveaways that we have. One is for the resin printed Baby Yoda, and also the other is for the 3D printed Die Hard lithophane ornament that I made in a previous video too. I am going to give those away. I'm going to draw a winner after I get done editing the video. I'll throw up a quickie video tomorrow just saying who was the winners for those. I do have a special winner too that I'm going to give our neighbor, my daughter goes to school with him. His younger brother actually watches the channel and has been waiting to see if he's won one of the Baby Yoda little resin printed ones. So I got an extra one for you. Victoria and I will come by and we'll bring it by and say hello and drop it off. So know that you're getting one regardless of the outcome of the contest. I'm going to let him go off and have some adventures now. I don't know, I guess I gotta build a Razor Crest now. I kind of started a Mando helmet, so where does it stop? It's gotta be the question that's in my wife's mind all the time. Like coworkers and friends and family and all of that, but whatever. I'm having fun. You're having fun hopefully too, and that's the whole idea. It's John, have a great week. Tomorrow, giveaway winners. They'll be up, I swear. Till then, see you later.